And we are going to go into our new incognito window and navigate over to KW Command. We're going to go ahead and log in so we can get rolling with our Facebook ads today. Is everybody doing good today? Don't be quiet now. Y'all got to talk to me. Don't forget that when we're coming into our incognito window, if we need to accept cookies in the lower right-hand corner, we are going to do so. Also up here, we are going to, let me let these folks in. We are going to eyeball with the line through it and allow those third-party cookies. You can do this, y'all, in a regular window. However, if you're working in a regular window and you see some errors happen, just make sure that you try an incognito window first, because it could be that, hi Holly, it could be that something updated and you're working in an old version. So always try out that incognito window. So I've taught this class multiple times, and I've always highlighted that the best bang you're going to get for your buck is advertising a listing. But the main question I always get is, what if I don't have a listing? Okay, so you can ask someone else in your market center if you can use their listing. That's one of your options. If you're uncomfortable doing that, I'm happy to do it for you. Just let me know. But if you really don't want to do that and you want to do something else, that's what we're going to chat about today. So when you're advertising your listing, pretty self-explanatory. It's either your listing, you're borrowing a listing, and that's what you're advertising. So in order to do that, I'm going to run through it quickly. We're going to go into our campaigns down here on the lower left.
Wendy.
And I am going to pick up, oh, got Jackie Penley coming in the room. And I'm going to mute Wendy. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and roll over to MLS real quick so I can show you guys quickly what it looks like to advertise a listing. If you don't have a listing, I always just recommend going into your front page of Matrix, go to My Office Active Listings, or I like to look at My Office New Listings this week. And if there's something in an area with which I was familiar or that I was trying to target, let me check out this Pofftown listing. I'll take it. I'm going to go ahead and just copy that MLS number. So if you were advertising a listing, you would just come down here to your campaigns button. There's that accept cookies in the lower right. And we are going to create a new campaign. In order to create Facebook ads that are paid, you do need to make sure that in your command settings that you have both of your Facebook connections made. And as you guys will see, we can log into multiple command windows. I do it all the time. So I just want to show you quickly in settings, you do want to make sure this first Facebook connection is for post scheduling. Whoop, there we go. So that's just for free social posts. And you do have to have a Facebook business page in order to make this connection first. Secondly, you will need to connect for Ads Manager. That is for your paid ads. So you want to make sure both of those connections are made before you try to create a campaign in Facebook. So we've clicked our teal create a new campaign button in the upper right, and we're going to pick social ad paid. And then we can just say, you know, test 123 Main Street. You would obviously, if this was the listing, you would put the listing address in there. We're advertising a listing on Facebook. Now these buttons, as of right now, they don't really do anything except for track. So what this is going to do is teach the artificial intelligence when I'm advertising a listing, these are the results that I got. When I'm attracting buyers, these are the results that I got. So eventually it will teach the artificial intelligence to give you recommendations on where you get the most bang for your buck. So that is why we are using these buttons. I'm going to click set up campaign. And I'm going to search by that MLS number. Obviously, if it was your listing and you had only my listing selected, it would show up down here and you can select it. If you do not have a listing and you're borrowing one, you want to make sure that you change this to all listings and then search for that listing that you are going to be advertising. And click the search button. Oh, not MLS number for me. Hold on. It might be too new. That might have gotten listed today. Let's take the next one. Let's see. Not working for Penny or Surrey but I do work in Precise. See if we can pull up Taylor. All right. Let's see. Mr. Dara, would you mind if I made you my co-host, sir, so you could let people into the waiting room if they come in?
Yeah, I can do that.
Thank you.
Makes me feel powerful.
There we go. All right, so there we go, Taylor Street. So we're going to click select on this one, and you'll see that MLS is going to populate a lot of this for us. So it brought in that front exterior. There is a walkthrough guide. That's what that purple is on there. So if you have some questions while you're doing it, it pulls in your MLS comments into your main copy. You may want to adjust that. That's totally fine. Short and sweet always works the best. So you can just give it a headline of like, welcome home. And this says, try this. You could be coming home to this. The reason that they said that is because they've tested it and it works. So you can click use suggestion, or if you don't like it, you can actually click shuffle, schedule a private tour with me today, view videos and photos of the home. So say I like this one, I can click use suggestion. It will pop it in right there. And we are going to save add text. So you see that we have check mark going all the way down, right? You can configure your ad media if you wanted to add multiple photos, a video, you can do so here. However, testing has shown that one really striking photo of the house has given the best results, right? And the whole point of this, if you're thinking about a Facebook lead, Facebook leads are not people that went to a home selling site and specifically looked up a house in 27104 between $250,000 and $300,000, right? You are interrupting somebody's news feed. They are scrolling through Facebook in a social manner. They see your ad, it interests them, and they click on it. So I would say your conversion rate, realistically speaking, on Facebook ads is about 1 in 100 maybe. But in the meantime, you're making connections, you're adding people to your database, people that you can consistently touch. I mean, they're raising their hand, whether it be for now or sometime in the future. So they're great people to put in your downline, but this is a long game. And if you think about it, for the cost of this, I usually recommend running one of these for 25 or 30 bucks, right? And average in the Winston-Salem Market Center is around 200,000 sales points. So that's about a $6,000 commission. So would you guys want to run 25, 30 bucks for a $6,000 commission? Even if you had to do it 6 times, right? 150 bucks to make $6,000 sounds fair to me, right? Sounds like really good ROI. So you have to think about the long game this way, right? So we've got our ad media in. We're going to include our ownership statement as I always do. I'm going to save the media. I'm going to go down here to my Facebook ad. I'm going to select my page that I want it to go to. You can have multiple Facebook pages attached here. And then I'm going to make sure that I'm using this Facebook lead generation form. Now, you cannot use the Facebook lead generation form. You can send them directly to a site or a landing page. That is okay. And you're not going to get as many leads. So I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying that you're going to get more lead capture when you use the Facebook lead generation form, because it keeps them within the Facebook ecosystem. And really, before they realize what they've done, they've given you their data. At the same time, that could mean that when you reach out to them, they're going to be kind of surprised, and that's okay. People are getting more and more used to when they click on something that somebody reaches out to them, whether it's via text or a phone call or an email. So we want to make sure that we're giving them what we said. We said if they click on our ad and complete this form, that they are going to get to see pictures and photos and more information on this listing. So down here in our follow-up destination URL, we want to either build a landing page for that listing specifically, or we can just go to our agent site so we don't have to build a landing page, and we can look up that same property. Let me see if I can pull it by MLS number. If not, I will pull it by address. Click allow. And that was 120 Taylor. Yes. 120 Taylor Street in Winston-Salem. And there it is. So we want to go directly to the listing on our website, and we can just copy this URL. And that is what would go here in our follow-up destination URL. So we're doing what we said we were going to do. If they click on this, it is going to take them to see photos and more information about the listing on our website, right? So once you get down to ad targeting, this is where you can get a little creative with it. We can click use custom settings. You used to be able in Facebook to target like by age, by homeowner, by all kinds of different things. That's kind of gone away, and the targeting is based on location. So you can see it automatically knows that my listing is Winston-Salem, and I can go the lowest radius of 15. And then what I can do is add interests. So at a minimum, I always add realtor.com, let it pull up, and Zillow, as much as I do not like it. I'm also going to add Zillow, because if they have shown an interest in Zillow or realtor.com, it could be that they are looking for real estate, right? So we want to at minimum add that. And I do recommend that you go through these interests and just kind of see what there is. There's a lot of different stuff, and we'll talk about that as we get in a little bit further.
Why would they take away the demographics?
I'm sorry, say that again, Angel.
Why would they take away the demographics, especially being Facebook and all their?
Facebook did that a while ago. That was
for what purpose, I guess, is what I'm asking.
I don't know, honey. I don't know. Facebook did that, so I'm not sure. I'm not sure why they did that. So the way that we can target, though, is through interest. That's what Facebook has left for us. Not just us, Keller Williams, anybody who's targeting on Facebook. Okay. So then duration and budget. I usually do $30 for $10 for 10 days. That's $3 per day. You could also do $25, $2.50 per day. They recommend doing at least $1 per channel per day. And then you would save the duration and budget. You have your preview over here on the right, and you can publish. So for a listing, pretty simple. Connect the listing, pick the front picture, adjust your text as you see fit. That's your steps, okay? And then you would publish. So that being said, that is the way that you're going to get the smallest cost per lead, period. But not everybody has a listing, and not everybody wants to borrow someone else's listing, and that's fine. So I'm going to give you guys a couple of other ideas, and we're going to do the same thing. We need to give them somewhere to follow up, right? So a great idea is to come here into your website and say that you just wanted to, Winston-Salem has some pretty specific markets. So I'm going to look up 27104. Okay. So there's all the listings in 27104 showing on the left-hand side of my screen here, okay? So we have all of these filters over here on the right, for sale, active pending, new construction, foreclosure, short sales. We have a for rent button. We have price, property type, house, apartment, condos, townhomes, beds and baths, and we have a more button, which has a lot more filters down here, right? So we can use keywords, we can use things that are open houses. So there's an idea. If you wanted to run one, you could do, upcoming open houses and turn on that filter. What are the upcoming open houses in this area? But my favorite is price reduced in the last 7 days. price reduced in the last 7 days. Everybody loves a bargain, right? So if we turn on price reduced in the last 7 days, you can see it adjusted my map view on the left-hand side to show me properties in 27104 whose price was reduced in the last 7 days. And so this URL up at the top is going to take them to this page of my website for the 27104 zip code, only showing the things that had their price reduced in the last 7 days. So at that point, we could then pop over into designs. Okay. We're not advertising a specific listing, so we can just find a listing that kind of design that kind of speaks to us. And I already went in there and found this one. I liked this front exterior of this house. And this was actually supposed to be like a just listed. It was, you know, originally done that way. So all I did was change the word listed to reduced, added a text box that said the last 7 days. Okay. Now in Facebook, they do not like a lot of text. So if you want to make sure that your images get approved, you don't want a ton of text on there. This is fine as it stands, but you don't want to do like a bunch of text overlaying a picture across the center or anything like that for your highest chance of approval. So you can just take this front exterior. I did change my logo, and I can show you guys quickly how easy it really was to do that. I can just come here into designs, and when I get in there, I'm going to click the plus button to create a new design in the lower right hand corner. I'm going to pick social because I'm making a graphic. It's going to load up my workspace. And here's my templates. So I can actually just go to listings that are just listed. And I'm going to change it over to social wide for my preference. And say I liked this kitchen or this exterior. I can just click use, right? And there are tons of pictures in here. So you can change them as you wish. So say I like this. I'm going to click on that DBA logo. I'm going to go to my Market Centers logos that I have saved and click replace. So now I'm branded to my firm. I'm actually going to make this a little bit smaller because again, I don't want Facebook to kick it back, and I can say just reduced, right? Because that's what we're talking about. And I could actually get this to say last 7 days. Done. Right? And then I can just click download and save it to my computer. Okay? Then I'm going to come back into my campaign. I'm going to do a paid social ad, just reduced. Make sure you give it a name that you're going to know what it is. I'm just going to pop in the date. I'm trying to attract buyers with this one. I'm going to pick Facebook and keep going forward. Let this little window do its thing. I'm going to skip over this guide. I'm not going to select a listing this time, right? So I'm going to come down here to my ad text. So I could say something to the effect of browse recently. If I could type recently reduced homes in the 27104 area of Winston-Salem, NC. Headline, reduced last 7 days. All right, nice and simple. And then I could say, just reduced in the past 7 days, amount of reduction shown. Done. Okay. I'm going to save that, add text. And when I come to add media, I'm going to select media for this campaign. Can add images. I can drag it up there, or I can just upload it from my computer wherever I saved it. So there it is right there. I'm going to add that. I'm going to preview and crop the image. That looks good to me. I'm going to save it. It's going to pop up on the side. Okay. So I'm going to save the ad media there. And now I can come down here and do the same thing. I'm going to pick my page. I'm going to use my Facebook lead generation form. And when I get to this follow-up URL, I'm going to go back to my website where I'm showing these reduced homes. And you can see what I mean. Sometimes when you pull these up, you can see that somebody reduced it by $1. So then you really know the people that are trying to get one over on you, right? They're just trying to push their listing up to the top. But a $350,000 house that just got reduced $15,000, that interests me, right? So you can see the amount of the reduction. So that's why I mentioned that within the, there's another 15,000, right? So
That question, Monica.
yeah.
So by saying just reducing the last 7 days, if you're putting in a 10-day ad, is there any issue with that?
The website's going to update, right?
Gotcha.
This link is just going to keep showing you the last 7 days, whether it's
gotcha.
today,
Okay.
tomorrow, or the next day. Good?
Yes.
Awesome. Okay. So then you have your follow-up destination URL there. You can use your ad targeting again, Winston-Salem, 15 miles, and you can, you know, add whatever interest. I do recommend looking at it. I do recommend testing. Once you find out what works, spend more money on it, right? So you can run this one for 25 bucks with Zillow and Realtor.com in there. And then you can see how that works out. If you get a whole bunch of leads off of it, then run it for $50 next time. Or if you run one and you do some different interest and you don't get it, don't run that again, right? So this is one of those testing things. I'm just kind of giving you best practices that we've learned from other agents who have already done it, right? So reducing the last 7 days is a good one. You would just keep working your way through this the same way that I showed you the individual listing. You would change your duration and budget and publish the campaign. So let's think about some other ideas that we could do with this stuff. So average rent. I used to be a renter before I lived in this house, and my rent was $850 on a 3-bedroom condo over off Country Club Road. So if you partner with a great lender, or if you want to use the Keller Mortgage Calculator that is built into everything on our websites, you can actually scroll down and see, you know, what your price point would be a month, right? So let's say that we're just going to stick with the 27104 area code. And this time I'm going to, we could leave the price reduced on, but I could also just come over here to price and say, you know, up to 150. Maybe I just want to change this to Winston-Salem or wherever you're trying to look. Just giving you examples. So there's all the listings in Winston-Salem that are 150,000 or less. Okay. So if I go up to one that shows 150, let's look at that Keller Mortgage Calculator there. Get a general idea of the price, right? Monthly payment. So you could run an ad with these priced under 150. Why rent when you can buy? at current interest rates in Winston-Salem, if you buy a house at 150, you're going to have a monthly payment of approximately this amount. So why rent what you're renting if you could buy your own house, right? So that's another example of a way that you can use these filters on your website to give you a great Facebook ad to get your people in to your command database. Some other ideas. I'm a pool rat, for those of you who don't know me that well yet. I will not live somewhere if I do not have a pool. It's just not going to happen. So a good ad for me would be homes with pools, right? You can use that more button and the keyword search and do homes with pools in Winston-Salem. Luxury homes. Somebody asked about that the other day. Of course you can. You're just going to go in there. Luxury in this market, I think it's like 550. Is Debbie Overby on here? Debbie?
Yes, ma'am.
550 or 600. Is that our luxury mark?
Given the way the prices are popping up, I'd put it at 6.
Yeah, I think it's something like that that would be considered luxury. So then you would just do, you know, houses in Winston-Salem that are 600,000 or more. And then if you really wanted to get interesting with it, you could come down here and do that price reduced in the last 7 days, pick a really fancy front exterior and say luxury homes reduced in Winston-Salem in the last 7 days, right? So there's all kinds of ads that you can run without your own listing or borrowing somebody else's listing. Another great one right now is run an ad for Keller Mortgage. I've been bragging about it all over the place. I just did a refinance with Keller Mortgage and I'm saving $800 a month. Right? Very little out of pocket for that. People can only get that if they're working with a Keller Williams agent. So either it has to be listed by a Keller Williams agent and somebody else brings the buyer, or they have to be working with a Keller Williams agent as their buyer's agent. So even if you ran it for the refi, you're still putting people in your database, right? So use that to catch people's attention. Over in designs, there are some Keller Mortgage designs in there that say the market's hot, mortgages are not, a couple of other things. And then you could just run, and luxury actually has a new thing here in designs if you guys hadn't seen it. So you've got some luxury stuff popping up now. But there are some Keller Mortgage, Legion. I know I've seen them in here somewhere. Keller Mortgage. So there you go. There's some Keller Mortgage stuff that you can look at right there. You could run an ad about Keller Mortgage. Get in touch with one of the Keller Mortgage agents and ask them for some more information. And on Keller Mortgage, and this didn't work for me the other day, so let me see. Keller Mortgage, I think it may have been down. Agent portal. Sign into the agent portal. Let me see. There we go. So this is my personal link, and this was what wasn't working the other day. So let me see if it's working now. You could use this as your work for me today. Yeah, you could use this as your follow-up destination URL, right? So before I was using my website, for this one, I'm using my own personally branded Keller Mortgage link. So if they want to find out more about Keller Mortgage, are they going to buy or are they going to refi? Branded to you down here at the bottom. When the Keller Mortgage representative gets them on the phone or through an email, it will say that you are their agent. So you could use this as your follow-up destination URL if you're going to run a Keller Mortgage ad, right? So what are some other thoughts you guys have? How could we use Facebook ads, not specifically for a listing? Somebody throw something out there. I know Debbie runs some ads. I'm putting her on the spot. I know.
I'm trying to pull up my last campaigns to see what I ran.
Well, while you're pulling that up, Debbie, do you see that you get the best bang for your buck out of advertising a listing?
Just off of the one listing that we ran for 155 Woodrow,
Mhm.
we ran it for 4 days. The spend was $30 and we had over 22,000 impressions.
Wow.
The one we ran for, let's see, what's the other big one we ran? Columbine Unit 111, we had almost 10,000.
Right.
So,
That's
I
good.
mean, the impressions that we're getting off the ads are massive. And then the cost per click is almost nothing. We've averaged anywhere from, I think the worst one we had was 2 leads up to 81 leads, depending on the property.
Yep.
And some of them are indeed, I mean, they're bogus and they're dead leads, but some of them are long-term nurtures and we're getting them to the finish line within the next 6 months.
Exactly. So that is where I'm kind of going next with this. There are multiple ads that you can run. As I said, think about it, about 1 out of 100. So if you run, Debbie said a $30 ad. I think a lot of people for a $30 ad usually get somewhere between 30 and 40 leads. And if I'm saying that you need to have about 100 leads, and that doesn't mean for each 100, you're going to have to build it up. But if I pull out a calculator here and do 30 times 3 for 30 leads, $90, 90 leads approximately. And then the average price point in our market center is $200,000, which is a $6,000 commission. 90 or $100 is kind of worth it, right? Looking at about $1 per lead, even if you were looking at $2 per lead. You're going to put these people on smart plans. You're going to let the system automate your follow-up with them. Yes, every once in a while, you're going to reach out with them with a phone call, right? So the second half of, the running of the ad is not that difficult. You got to come up with your idea. What are you trying to do? Let's put it into action. But what was the big takeaway from the Winston-Salem team meeting yesterday? Consistency and follow-up, right? So nothing is going to happen with these leads if you don't follow up with them. And I've had some people say that, well, these people said they're not going to buy for a year. Well, are you going to be in business next year? And are you going to need clients next year? Yes. So you can put them in the cultivate phase in your opportunities and set them up on some smart plans to continue to reach out to them. So if we come over here into our smart plans.
Hey, Monica, can I dovetail on that for you?
Please, please.
One of our most successful ads for lead generation had nothing to do with a house. It was a first-time home buyer seminar. And we ended up with 38 leads off of that. And I think we've got 5 or 6 in the pipeline right now to buy within the next 6 to 12 months.
Nice. See,
So
there's all kinds of ideas. What did you run for that, Debbie?
We ran it between Instagram and Facebook. We had a complete landing page where they could register for the event, where they got an automatic email back. Thank you for registering. We'll be following up with you, blah, blah, blah. It was done virtually and in person because of capacity limitations.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, what was the spend on that? It was $30 spend. We had a total of 1,542 impressions, and we ended up with 38 leads out of that.
38 leads. That is less than $1 a lead, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
So what did you just make a graphic? How did you present the ad?
We went into Canva and made a cute little design.
Mhm.
And it had the date, the time, and all that. It had a link to the landing page that we created in Command where they had to go and register.
Okay.
And then we got a notification that they registered, and they had got an immediate follow-up email once they registered that said, thank you for registering. And then Daniel was the one running it. So Daniel called every single one that registered to do that person-to-person touch.
Awesome. Awesome.
And we had a packed house. So, I mean,
I love
as
it.
far as COVID would allow, obviously.
Obviously. Well, that is super exciting. So that was, you know, that was her smart plan follow-up, right? The automatic email, somebody calling to touch them. So you can create your own smart plan to follow up with your Facebook leads. I've taught that before we could share smart plans. And if you go on to my website, you can actually click on downloadable resources. And these were some smart plans that other people really liked. So I shared them. So they're right here in the smart plans folder under the downloadable resources tab on my website. But you can also come in here now and go to the library, right? And you can even search for Facebook. I keep my searches as simple as possible. And guess what you get? Facebook lead follow-up, Facebook paid ad lead follow-up, Facebook ad follow-up campaign, right? There's tons of them. So you can look at easy button, Facebook lead follow-up, calls and texts. You can look at the ratings, how many people are using them. 150 email only Facebook lead smart plan, right? There's tons of other people's smart plans. Here's a Spanish one, right? I would need that because regardless of the fact that I get asked all the time, no, I do not speak Spanish other than a handful of things like asking for a beer or a shoe store. That's about as far as I can go. But there are all these Facebook follow-up smart plans in here, the most popular of which is probably Marty Miller's 66-day. Where is it? Come on. Internet's being slow. 66-day challenge. Facebook small follow-up plan. So there are 3,394 agents using that smart plan. Do you think that's because it works? Yes. So you can view the steps here, right? It's a text, it's a delay, it's a call, it's a delay, it's a text, and it goes on and on and on and on. Monica, what if the person reaches out to me and they're on there? Then take them off. How do you ask for a beer in Spanish? Yo necesito una cerveza, por favor. That's as far as I go there. You know, you can look at this, you can edit it, you can do whatever you want to it, right? So I'm going to go back into my smart plans, and I have Mr. Marty Miller's smart plan in here somewhere. There we go. So I can come over to the pin on that smart plan that I added to my library. And once I open it up, I can see that there are going to be a couple of things that I need to edit. If I can get it to load. My kids have the day off today because of exams and such. So they're probably in there playing Fortnite would be my guess, and slowing down my bandwidth here. So say I didn't like this text. I could change it out and click save, right? He's using merge field, so you don't have to worry about it. Hey, contact first name. Thanks for clicking on the home I recently posted on Facebook. If you're only running one ad, you might say, thanks for clicking on the home in Winston-Salem. I recently posted on Facebook, right? You can curate this to make it more targeted at that particular person. You know, hey, again, it's Monica Perry with KW. I realize it might be difficult to view a home in person due to COVID, right? So they're happy to do a virtual walkthrough. Put your KW app link in there, right? So it just goes on and on. You can add to it, take away from it. I didn't hear back, so I thought I would go ahead and send you some of those recently price improved homes I was talking about. I'd love to hear if they match what you're looking for, right? So he actually had a parentheses that said, put your search here. That's the search we just set up, right? So if the listing was in 27104, the ad was for 27104, then you can look it up. You can take out that price. You can keep the price reduced. This is your URL that shows those price improved homes. I shortened it with a bit.ly. You could also say, click here, right? And I think you can still do this. I might be wrong. I could be wrong. Let me see. I guess we can't do that anymore. We used to be able to put a link. We had a link button. I guess we don't have that. That's okay. If you don't know how to shorten a URL, you can use bit.ly, and there's another one, say bit.ly.com. I can actually just pop that URL right in there and click shorten, and it gives me that little short one like that, which is a lot easier. Done. If they click on that link, it's going to take them to my website to recently reduced homes in 27104. Okay. Now you don't want to have to make this smart plan each time. So say next week I'll run an ad on a house in 27106. Then I can just go back to that smart plan right here. Can click my 3 dots and say make a copy. And I can say 27106. And then I can just go in and make those couple of changes and adjustments to make this the smart plan for 27106. And then I could do it for a neighborhood specific one. Same steps, just changing those few places that say, thanks for clicking on my Facebook ad for this house in the West End, right? And this one's in Ardmore, and this one's in Sherwood Forest, right? So you can just make those couple of adjustments and have a very specific smart plan that makes the person feel like you're really reaching out to them, not just automatically, as Jason Abrams would put it, right? So the key is come up with a cool idea, run the ad, have the follow-up in place before you do it. Because what Debbie just said is that she ran an ad for 4 days and got like 40 leads and 22,000 impressions. You can't follow up with 40 people that easily. You need to have a system in place, right? So I ended 2 minutes early for our question session, which is fine. So I'm going to go ahead and open it up to you guys for questions.
Do you know if they fixed the lead routing yet, or is that still in process?
What was it? Was it giving you an error? For those of you who don't know, that's if you're on a team. What was it doing to you, Debbie?
The lead would come out, but then when we tried to get to it through Kelly, the way it was coming out to us, we couldn't get to it. And then people were getting the same lead over and over again.
So I don't actually run the ads through here anyway, because, you know, it's a team with Candy and Anna and Carissa. Let me see. It's under lead routing. But I don't have any active routes. How did you have them set up? Round robin?
I did. They were, I think they were on 5-minute claims.
I'll look into that and see if anybody else is seeing it. When's the last time you ran one?
We stopped when they announced that they were having the issue with the lead routing prior to, I think, Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I
So
mean, I heard
I'd
that
like to
back
get back
then.
into using it again, but if it's not, the bugs
I
haven't
feel
been
like
worn
I
out.
heard that it was fixed, but I'll double check for you when we I have a one-on-one after this, and then after that, and then I'll go into my Slack channel and see if anybody else is having success again with lead routing.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Who else? You guys are so quiet.
Hello, Monica. It's Mike.
Hi.
Another fine job.
Thank you, sir.
I'm interested in generating leads from California. So
Okay.
can I use this system and will it advertise?
Yeah. So
I'm an old guy. A lot of this stuff just goes right over my head.
are you trying to get people that are moving from California to North Carolina? Is that your goal? Or
Yes.
that's what you're trying to do? So let me see if this is still working, because it was not the last time I taught this class. Normally on our map, Let me just go and do a regular window. Normally on our map in referrals, there we go. If you go to the map, you can actually see referral patterns. Why is it not working still? It's really irritating me. There they are. Okay, so this is Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Referrals going out. This is Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Referrals coming in. Where are they coming from? Miami, Houston, Maryland, right? You can see where they're coming from. So that's a quick tip just to find out if you're advertising a house in Paughtown, you might want to advertise it up in Maryland, which you can do, right? And for you, Michael, yes, you can. When you come here into your campaign, if you're trying to target people from California, then you can actually change your location. Where in California?
San Diego.
San Diego. Let's see. Click on that. And you can do it within 15 miles of San Diego and run it there. Looking to move to North Carolina? Question mark. Here are homes that were reduced in the past 7 days in Winston-Salem.
Perfect.
So you can definitely do that. You can run it wherever you want in the country.
All right, I'm excited about that. I'll get in touch with you for a one-on-one and get this thing rolling. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. What else, friends? What do we got? Do you guys find this helpful?
Always.
Oh, absolutely. Just too much information. It takes me, I can't remember it all.
That's why I record them. It'll be up on YouTube later.
I'm so glad you do that.
It's better on YouTube when you guys ask me questions, because then the people that are watching it are like, ooh, I had that question too. And they get their question answered. So what else? No holds barred. If you don't have a question on campaigns directly, you can ask me anything command related too.
So when the ad comes in, or when you're in the ad and the lead comes in, can you automatically connect them to that smart plan, or do you need to go in and connect them?
You can now use tags, which I am. What is the link to my YouTube? Brendan, if you go on my website, which is kwtriadtech.com, and then down here it says subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you guys can give me, I think I need 9 more subscribers, and then I can shorten my YouTube URL. So go on there and subscribe to it. Yes. So the new thing that we have, Mike, is the tags, right? So when the leads come in, and I wish I had one up, but when the leads come in, you can click on the thing. It will show you all of your leads, and you can tag them all. And so now in your smart plans, I can show you real quick. Sorry, there are people harassing me in my private chat, so they're making me giggle, which is fine. It's good for me. Let's see if I can find that 66-day challenge. Oh, I'm in my team plans. Sorry. Let me change back to my personal account. For those of you who are not on Teams, you don't have to worry about that. 66. Okay. So I can hit the edit button here, and I can give it a trigger now, which is pretty recent. And if you guys didn't see my Facebook post earlier, our Twilio call forwarding came out today, which was exciting. So check that out. Let's see who's in my chat. So now we can add a trigger event. And the first trigger that we got is a tag, right? So I could actually create a tag that said like 27104 Facebook ad or something like that, right? And I could pick that tag as the trigger. So then I would confirm. So then when those leads poured in, I could just select them all and tag them 27104 Facebook ad, and the smart plan would cut on for that set of people. And we'll get more triggers as we go, right? That was just the first. They've got the system in place now, and so they'll be able to start adding more triggers as we move forward.
Okay.
With the design template, can you upload your own photo? You absolutely can. So if you had, I think all I have is, I'm going to add an image here. I'm going to click on upload, and I think I recently got a really high res photo of Winston. And yes, I purchased it, so nobody come at me for copyright infringement. All right, so if I want to replace this with this, I can just click replace and give it a chance to load. And load and load. Come on, there we go. So yes, you can upload your own photos from your computer. Good. What is my website? I'm going to pop it in the chat. It is kwtriadtech.com. And I've tried to name everything that way so that you guys can remember them. So kwtriadtech.com, that's what the YouTube channel will get named once I can. And when you come to my Zoom, it's kwtriadtechzoom.com. Right. What else? You guys are going to give me an 8-minute break before my next one-on-one. Y'all are sweet.
So we actually have to go into command to find the leads that.
Yes, your phone will ding. I can make a lead come in. Let me turn my volume up because I had turned it down on my phone. So if for you guys that haven't heard me say this, I like Kelly for the fact that it dings me. Okay, it does make a sound on my phone when I get a lead, when compliance gets returned, anything like that. If somebody responds to one of my Twilio texts in command, Kelly will ding me. What I don't like is the functionality of Kelly. So when I hear that ding and I need to go in and do something, I actually navigate straight to command just in my web browser. Can you see? I created a shortcut to command on my phone.
Okay.
I just logged into agent.kw.com on my Google Chrome browser because I'm on an Android. I clicked the 3 dots in the upper right and created a shortcut to my home screen. So let me make a fake person come in. Test Jan 20. Test Jan 20 at gmail.com. So this is the same thing that would happen with a Facebook lead. I mean, the notification sound would be the same. So that was the lead coming in. Kelly was notifying me. So you can see that Kelly shows that I have, I can't get it to focus, one notification right there. And when I scroll down on my phone for my notifications, it says new agent site registration received from this person's name. And so you would get a lead notification like that, right? But then I always just log into command itself on my phone to go in there and get it. And so if you're looking at my command, there you can see what it looks like from the computer. Y'all would say Facebook lead though, but just so you could see what it looks like when a lead came in.
That's great. Okay.
So you get notified. And it tags them as a lead. Now, if you're on a team, it's a little bit different. It depends on how your Rainmaker has lead routing set up and stuff like that. But also on your home screen, let me get back to my home screen maybe. Mhm. Could have to do with the fact that I have 10 million windows open. Close some of those out. When I go back. Okay, I'll just open a new one. I get rid of that one. My computer probably hates me, y'all. I'm not gonna lie. I have like 5 million programs open all day, every day. On my home screen, if it will ever load, then you can see there's my recent leads, right? And if you're on a team, there's also one that says leads to claim. So if you got routed a lead or something like that, it would take you to that. You can move this up too. So don't ever forget that you can customize. So if you are on a team, you can actually slide that up. And then it'll be up at the top. New leads to claim. Good?
That's great. Wonderful. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Well, if that is it from you guys, then I enjoyed having you today. You're welcome, Holly. And I know, I have to go through this stuff pretty quick because I do want to allow time for questions. And I want to make sure that the recording isn't too long so that people don't zone out on us while they're watching. But I am always here for you on my page. Don't forget, you can schedule a one-on-one with me in the upper right corner. It'll take you straight to my calendar. And you can pick a time that will work for you, 30 minutes, 1 hour. And you can see all the times that are available and click it to confirm. And it goes straight to my calendar. Okay. So test it out, try it out. I do highly recommend that you do testing and don't sink a ton of money in until you find out what works and then build it up. There are a couple of agents that will run a couple side-by-sides for 25 bucks. And then when they find one that gives them a lot of leads, then they will really, spend like $100 to get more leads. So just remember, it's all in the follow-up. It is not the same as somebody who is specifically looking for a property. It's somebody that you disrupted their news feed and they had an interest. And so it's going to take a little bit of follow-up, right? And in the end, the return on your investment is far worth the time and the money. So I hope you guys found this helpful. I miss you all, and I can't wait to see you in person. And I'm here if you need me.
Thank you, Monica.
Thank you, guys. Talk to you
Bye.
soon. Bye.